Sunday. We're back with another live Q&A. And so happy to hang out with all of you this weekend. I'm kind of making up for lost time because I wasn't able to go live for months. And so I'm coming in, chatting with all of you, which is so much fun to do. I hope that you'll come in and join us. It's a little late start. I was supposed to start an hour ago, but we had a late start this morning, and life happens. I've got 3 kids, and with the kiddos, there's always something going on. So we're getting all set for another adventure with my family. So it's been really busy prepping for said adventure. I'll probably share about it soon, but not won't share about it now. I'll share about it soon. And I'm happy to connect with everybody here. So if you have a question, post it. I'll be happy to answer. I will start with the questions that were already submitted. So excited to get going with that. And because I've had such a late start today, I'm still working on celery juice. So I will be working on celery juice whilst you are all hanging out and answering questions, or are you asking questions? Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick post to Instagram that we are now live. Hang on one second. Hey everyone on Instagram, we are now live for Q&A, so come find me. Oh, hi everyone on Instagram. We're live answering questions on YouTube. If you are not here, join us. My YouTube channel is the same name as my Instagram channel, Muneeza _medical_intuitive. Come find me and hopefully we can hang out there. So hi Joanne from Carmel, California. So if you're just jumping on, tell me where in the world you are. Tell me what in the world you're drinking. I had such a late start today, so I'm on celery juice. And I look forward to hearing about you guys. So it's always inspirational to hear what everybody's eating or drinking at different times of the day, different time zones in the world. It's fun to hear that. All right, so our next question is from Donna Chisholm, and she says, my husband was just diagnosed with brain aneurysm on the brain stem. Is there anything you can do to help him? So hi everyone on Instagram. And so okay, so this is our question up for this morning. It's a big one to get started with. All right, so we have husband got diagnosed with a brain aneurysm. So an aneurysm is basically where the veins or vessels in the brain or in the heart or anywhere in the body, really, they kind of expand and can easily they become weaker. They can expand, they can tear, and then you can have an internal bleeding situation happen. So, this isn't caused by one thing. It's not like, thyroid is caused by, EBV, thyroid issues are caused by EBV. It's not like that. This type of an issue is more about, how do we put it? Like, a better description would be all of the pathogens and the poisons that are in the body can weaken the vessel tissue or connective tissue in the body. And this is why things happen, but those pathogens and poisons can include things like, lots of toxic heavy metals, lots of, lots of poisons that will weaken that tissue, right? Also, the lack of nutrients and minerals is evident here. So when you lose strength, there's because also you don't have enough raw material that would keep that tissue healthy. So what to do about it? I would start to think about bringing in silica, MSM, aloe, nettle leaf, but also lots of cleansing, like toxic heavy metal cleansing, doing the morning cleanse, celery juice, heavy metal detox smoothie, right? Celery juice. Also, I would do in the brain book, look up the heavy metal detox cleanses. I would start to do some of those. The Cleanse to Heal book. Look up the 369 cleanses. Those are important. Yeah, I think it's important to bring in a whole bunch of cleanses. It's not going to, I don't know whether they've told your husband he needs surgery. You know, if he does need surgery, then perhaps it's a good idea to get that done because things can be so almost fatal if they're not addressed. So it's very important to get it looked at medically. But from a holistic point of view, I think it's really critical to bring in all these nutrients I'm talking about. Change of diet, cutting out eggs, dairy, gluten, corn, soy, canola, cutting out fats. That's a really big one. You've got to cut out fats. If you don't cut out fats, you pretty much aren't going to be able to heal much. And it could, if it's happened once, it can happen again, and you don't want that. So preventing things in the future, you actually have a better chance of being able to do that. Okay, so I hope, Donna, that answers your question. Let me know if you have any more questions about that, but that's a big one. Good morning from SoCal. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Joanne Gimbel says, I took statins 20 years ago for a year and I had many issues after. How do I rid my body of any remaining statins? So, but you took them 20 years ago, right? So the way to get rid of old things that are sitting in the body is to cleanse. That's the best way. The morning cleanse, if you're not already doing it, lemon water, celery juice, heavy metal detox smoothie, so important, right? So think about bringing in the exposure shots, the brain shots that are listed in the brain book. If you don't know what brain shot therapy is working with a realm of sort of 30 different types of juices, small juice shot recipes that are really medicinal for specific medicinal purposes. And they are divided into, the 30 are divided into 3 different categories. So you have exposure shots, you have stabilizer shots, and you have shifter shots. So each of them creates a sort of mini healing in the brain for an issue that you need to also be working on, outside of the brain shot. But the brain shot can give you relief temporarily. It can give you some relief. So it can be really powerful for bringing in while you're trying to heal a deeper issue. So the exposure shots, while many of them are marked for, well, really only for smaller sort of immediate healings, and a lot of what they're listed that they do in the book, they do a lot more than that. So I think it's really important to bring in, so there's 10 of them. Let's see if I can remember all of them. So there's the negative energy exposure shot, mold exposure shot, chemtrails exposure shot. I shouldn't say that, but yeah. Pesticide and pesticide exposure shot. There's the toxic heavy metals exposure shot, toxic fragrances exposure shot, radiation exposure shot, pharmaceutical exposure shot, pathogen exposure shot. And there's one more, guys. I can't remember. I always get stuck on the last one. There's one more. So basically, you want to bring these. Oh, there's a 5G and EMF. Hey, I remembered all of them. That's really cool. So you want to do a series of those, right? You want to do 10 of them. You could do one a day. You could do one of the same one every day. So 2 of the same every day, or you could do 3 of the same every day. And that sort of shifts you up and down between, the level of cleansing that you'll get. You might also want to consider doing the heavy metal detox cleanse. That's really powerful, actually, which can go deeper. And if you want to go really deep and get something really old addressed, like 20 years ago of taking statins, then I would consider doing the extractor smoothie as well. So I hope that helps you, but that's sort of all of the ways to look at it. Okay, so I have some submitted questions, which I'm going to get to. I'm going to try and answer all of your questions from the live stream as well. So just hang in there while I get to it. Okay, hold on. So many questions, y'all. Like, I'm trying to keep track of all of them. Okay. All right. Our first question is root canal or implant, which is less bad? I answered this question yesterday, I think. So go back and listen to the March 14th live stream. Implants are the least favorite option. You want to avoid implants for as long as possible. Implants are not helpful because they involve drilling into the bone. It's basically a very invasive procedure, right? You guys follow? It's very, very invasive. So if you can avoid them, that would be best, right? Our next question. So root canals are always helpful because also root canals help you to save your tooth. They do more to save the tooth. So that's also important. What is the cause of clear nasal discharge when eating very warm and hot and spicy foods? It's a response of heat bringing in the immune system. So everything starts to pull forward. Heat, that capsaicin, it pulls out things from the body, stuck mucus, things like that. So it's a decongester, which is why you have that response. What causes a loss of appetite? What causes a loss of appetite is having too high a viral load or having some other pathogens and things in the gut. Burning, not painful, more heat, and redness during nerves and face. I have to use fans and cold compresses. So very likely your nerves are burning up. This is from Busy Lizzie. And I have to use fans and cold compresses. So, so if you're finding that's happening, you want to bring in celery force, things that will cool down the nerves and the nerve inflammation, high doses of curcumin, propolis, ALA, magnesium glycinate, California poppy, lemon balm, Neuromag even can be helpful here. So yeah, I would bring in those tools to help calm down this type of a reaction. Okay, our next question. Oh, someone says, thank you, Muneeza. I'm watching all of your replays that you've been doing. I'm so glad you guys find the time. It's not lost on me how special it is that you guys take the time to watch. I really, really do appreciate all of you. Okay, so next question is from Amy Hunter. Amy Hunter, hello. She says, it's good to see you. It's good to have you here as well. Would you please talk about eczema, dry, cracked skin on cleansing diet, protocols for 7 years? So if you're having dry, cracked skin and you're having eczema, well, I always tell people to go back to what they consider as the root cause of something. So the root cause is that you have Epstein-Barr in your liver eating copper and or mercury, right? So you could have had that stashed away, that copper and mercury stashed away for a while, and now your body suddenly, your viruses found a new stash of it, and they can kind of delve or bury deeper into part of the liver, and they find it, and then they go at it and they have a feeding frenzy. Sounds like that may have been what happened, or you acquired a new virus which went to town, or you acquired new exposures that caused your virus to go to town, right? So it can be a few things that would happen. Although I don't know if this is a new symptom, so I'm just sort of assuming that. Maybe I'm wrong. But you are saying like what you can do. So when you're cleansing, and this is one of the few areas where you kind of see this happen, is when you're cleansing the liver and you see a whole bunch of poison load going out to, you know, out of the liver, dumping out, it dumps into the lymphatic system. With if you have a lot of dermatoxin in there, then it goes to the skin. The skin will become inflamed because the dermatoxin pushes out from the lymphatic system into the skin. Lymphatic system sits right under the skin, right? So even if you go for a lymphatic massage, it's a very light massage, sometimes even like with fingertips, right? It's so feather-like because the lymphatic system is not your muscle. So when you have a muscle massage, they go into the muscle like that. That's not a lymphatic massage. So lymph sits right under your skin. And if your lymphatic system fills up with dermatoxin, it will come out through the skin and it will give you a symptom. So when we're cleansing, sometimes that can happen, although it still exists because you have a virus, but it does take a moment to clear through enough poison loads so it stops coming into your lymphatic system. That's when your liver sort of improves, and that's when you get better results and not having that break out through the skin. How do you support a person who's got this going on? I've been recently talking about my Barefoot Acres herbal salve, healing salve. It is fantastic. It works really well. Yeah, it's pretty fantastic, that healing salve. So if you've not tried it, it's really helpful to put on. Like I said, it's Barefoot Acres Herbs, and look for their healing salve. You can just Google that and it should show up. When you're doing these protocols, if you've not done an allo shock therapy protocol, allo shock therapy is so helpful for eczema and skin stuff. If you have dry, cracked skin, it means that the upper layers of your dermis are not getting enough hydration. Even though you might be hydrating, it might be all being used up by the liver because the liver needs to support, more of what you have going on deeper in more cleansing that's happening. Is pulling in more water, and you're actually not able to get enough water to the outer layers of the skin. So there has to be a lot more flushing. Cucumber juice, chaga tea, papaya, allo shock therapy. I mean, I would be flushing with melon juice and cucumber juice through the day so that you can flush out more poisons from the lymphatic system, so that you can, and red clover tea, so that you can actually flush more of that out and you have fewer dermatoxins going to the surface of the skin. You've got to do that so you can heal. And I know that you've been on MM for 7 years. I don't know though whether you've done any cleansing. I'm assuming you have. And most people have been on that long often end up doing some sort of a cleanse. So yeah, that's important. I hope I hope this was helpful, and let me know if you have any more questions about it. Okay, Debbie Gale, good morning from Virginia. Good morning to you. Peace, love, fruit. You love my hair? Thank you. I really appreciate that kindness. Next question is from Bianca. She says, I'm on 6 years on an MM diet, no fats, no grains, and I healed many neurological symptoms, but now I'm dealing with colitis, endometriosis. Okay. So you're dealing with colitis and endometriosis. So with colitis, ulcerative colitis, are you having, so ulcerative colitis is bleeding stools. Are you having any bloody stools? Are you having any cramping that shows up in the gut? Like what's going on with, lots going on with that. Okay. So sorry, I'm taking a minute because I'm just sort of feeling into the question. And you have endometriosis and colitis. Okay, so endometriosis is more a sort of Epstein-Barr condition, according to Medical Medium. He writes about it in the Cleanse to Heal book. And then colitis is more a shingles condition, which he writes about in the first Medical Medium book, the revised and expanded first Medical Medium book. So you have a bunch of issues going on. You're asking, is a mono cleanse good for both, and what supplements are most recommended? I think that's what you were going to ask me. With colitis, it's different, right? So for supplements with colitis, you need the core 7. How many of you know what I'm talking about when I say core 7? Core 7 are the most common viral supports that you need. So it's B12, zinc, micro C, lysine, cat's claw, lemon balm, licorice root, plus curcumin, ALA, magnesium glycinate, propolis, golden seal, total immune blend, or mullein. You really need that to help battle colitis. Endometriosis, you need the baseline of the core 7, plus you need red raspberry leaf tea and nettle leaf tea, and you need to go at it with celery force and some other stuff that you really need to focus on bringing in. I mean, golden seal still works. Lysine obviously works for both. Bringing in more, you have to focus a lot more on like reproductive system protocols, right? Whereas with colitis, you need to focus more on gut protocols. So with colitis, you need to bringing in things like, aloe. Aloe is very helpful for colitis, by the way. So you need to be bringing in that. You can bring in like papaya does really well for people with colitis. Papaya will do well for even endometriosis, but because, it's so, difficult for people with colitis to eat. Papaya works very well. However, papaya also works well for endometriosis because, it's one of the most nutrient dense fruits on the planet. So with endometriosis, the reason it occurs is that bacteria and viruses feed on, foreign hormones from other animal products, meaning eggs and dairy, even some meats, and synthetic hormones like birth control, HRT. So those of you who ask me what I think about HRT, I answered that in a lot of depth yesterday. Look for March 14th live, and I talk about it there. So the byproduct that these pathogens produce in and around the female reproductive system activates and prompts this abnormal tissue growth, which traps and encases toxic byproducts so it doesn't injure the uterus. And so it spreads faster when you're on a high-fat diet, and all these supplements. Troublemaker foods. So with this particular endometriosis, I outlined some of the differences, but you also need, in addition, you need Schizandra berry, you need also iodine. I would bring in some iodine. I would bring in some D-mannose. I would bring in ashwagandha, amla berry, because it's also very connected into your liver and how your liver's doing. So I hope that answers your question, Bianca. Also, with colitis and with endometriosis, you have to pay a lot of attention to your adrenals. That is really, really important. So if you are not familiar with how to support your adrenals, I've got the Adrenal Reset program starting next week. I hope you'll come on and check it out. If you've not checked it out, just tap on the QR code or scan the QR code and it will open up for you and you can check out the program. The program it's a 5-week program, and we cover pretty much anything and everything that has to do with adrenals, but also covers anything and everything with how to treat and get yourself better, right? And there's a lot of support with that. So, our next question, I'm going to the submitted question. Sorry, guys, I'm tired today. I woke up very late, but not because I had a good night. I had a very short night. Our next question is, what is the best alternative to hair removal with a razor and an epilator? Waxing. Waxing is probably the best way. Is doing the 369 advanced okay when dealing with blood sugar issues? Oh my God, it is the solution to the blood sugar issues. If you do the 369, it will take care of your blood sugar issues. How do I tell if I have a vaginal prolapse or if it's inflammation? Go to a gynecologist and get it checked. That's the most important, easiest way to just have them take a look and see what's going on. I'm tired of suffering from kidney stones and bad breath. What should I do? That's a good question. So kidney stones and bad breath. Bad breath comes from having ammonia permeability in the gut. So bringing in celery juice, doing a mono-eating cleanse, bringing in the nerve gut acid stabilizer shots, those are all really helpful. And then you said you're tired of suffering from kidney stones. With kidney stones, I would recommend that you stop bringing in animal protein. Animal protein contributes hugely to kidney stones, so cut that out. Bring in more fruits, vegetables, leafy greens. To dissolve kidney stones, pomegranate juice is one of your best bets. So if you can bring in more pomegranate juice, bring in aloe, bring in celery juice. All of these tools will help your condition in a huge way, right? Also, supplements that you can bring in that support the kidneys, like gentle antivirals like lemon balm, nettle tincture. Nettle's really good for the kidneys. Lysine, barley grass juice powder, really helpful. And then so kidney stones, I mean, you really need to cut back on the animal protein. That will make the biggest difference. And then I would bring in a lot more healing foods like leafy greens. That will make a huge difference. Next question from our live feed here today. Sarah Burton says, my father is in the hospital today with the super flu, and I'm so sorry to hear that. Really, flu should not put us in the hospital, but there we go. I was able to request with demand quarter vials for blood. What else should I watch out for when advocating for him? I would find out if he's on an IV, make sure that you know what's in the IV exactly. Check his chart. The chart usually sits at the bottom of the bed. Open it up, read it, you know. You have the right to check it's your dad's information. So you have the right to check the chart. You can, when we were in Pakistan, the doctors would leave the charts there and we could all review them. If they don't let you do that, then ask them to see the chart. You know, what's written in the chart. What are they prescribing? What medication is in the IV bag? And I would watch my loved one like a hawk in the hospital because I don't want anything going into them or out of them, being taken out of them without my consent or without their consent, without knowing what's being used for, all those types of things. So, and then bring him better food than they serve in a hospital. I think that's the biggest thing you can do for them. Okay, I constantly feel like there's some debris in my left eye. It feels irritated and sometimes painful, and this has been going on for over 3 months. So I have had many visits to the doctor who keeps looking and telling me that there's nothing there. If there isn't anything physically there, is there anything else could be causing the sensation? Yes, an inflamed nerve, right? So you want to do some of the core 7 protocols and the protocols that I talked about for shingles that would help calm that nerve down. Like if you don't know what they are, go back and listen, Christian Smith. Sarah, Amy had a great point for you. She said to bring the pharmaceutical exposure shot in every day because probably they would have that in there for you as well. Okay. So next question is from Rena. And she says, every time my 9-year-old drinks banana smoothies, coconut water, dates, etc., he runs to the bathroom to poo within 30 minutes. Should I avoid giving him banana smoothies? Or what's the reason I make this smoothie for me to heal myomes? Myomes? I'm not specifically healing him. I'm not sure what you mean by myomes. Is that a typo? So basically, no, you don't need to stop giving it to him. If he's going to poo, actually, that's a good thing. So I would keep giving it to him. It's clearly moving something in his system. So I think that's fantastic. All right, our next question, I'm going to go to the submitted questions. Is it okay to eat fat-free long-term? Yes, it is. All right, so Is it okay for a 7-year-old child to be on a fat-free diet except for omega, EPA, DHA? Really, I mean, for a child to be on a fat-free diet, really all of even humans, adults can be on fat-free diets. You just have to make sure you're getting in the right kinds of fats every day, which are the microfats, which you need to make sure you're getting in enough leafy greens, that you're getting in enough EPA, DHA, things like that. Even chia seeds and hemp seeds, walnuts, they have all the right kinds of fats that we need, just in small amounts that children don't need a lot. But yes, children can be, but you do have to be careful with that. You do have to watch it. And if you want to give a child some avocado, which is, I do recommend keeping that in the mix a little bit, even if a child is super low fat. How to remove secretions from the respiratory system when a child has a cold. You mean from the nose? Because if it's in the respiratory system, you won't be able to just pull it out with a machine or something. If it's in the nose, you get the Dr. Frida. You basically put a tube up the kiddo's nose, and you have a long tube, and at the end of the tube, you can just suck it out, and it comes out. So if a child cannot expel the mucus by blowing their nose or but coughing is a little tougher because you can't just pull it out, but it would encourage you to bring in things like onions, even having onions in the room if they're not eating them. It helps to expel the mucus. Juicing sweet potatoes instead of cooking them provides the same benefits. No, they're different benefits. Juicing has a different quality because it's raw and it's higher in starch, and it's more difficult to break down that kind of starch when it's not cooked. Cooking opens up a whole other layer of nutrients in a different way with sweet potatoes, and potatoes, same. Suggestions for a mild cause of cellulitis. I answered this one yesterday. I answered the mast cell activation syndrome question yesterday in a lot of depth, so I hope you'll go watch that, Olga. What is the cause of SUDC? You guys put in these abbreviations, but I don't always know what they mean. Sudden unexplained death in childhood. Is that what you mean? It could be different things for different kids. I can't say. It's not one clear answer. Can cavities in a 7-year-old be reversed, switching with celery and started living libations products? Yes, my 6 and 7-year-old kid reversed her cavities. So yes, it's possible. You got to swish a lot. You got to swish like 8, 9 times a day. I have PTSD. What more can I do? Are you following the PTSD protocol in the Medical Medium Revised and Expanded book? If you're not doing that, I highly suggest that you look at that one. In that protocol, there's elderflower tea and lemon balm and GABA and melatonin and 5-HTP and 5-MTHF as well. Celery force, things that really help PTSD to calm down, cow poppy. So those are some of the tools, magnesium glycinate as well. Neuropathy. Somebody said what to do for neuropathy. Neuropathy is caused by shingles, so cutting out all the troublemaker foods, really important. When I say this, I don't mean it lightly. Like, I spent hours talking to people about cutting out troublemaker foods. So, eggs, dairy, gluten, corn, soy, canola, all really helpful. If you all are struggling with your diet, I have the Ultimate Clean Food Guide. If you all have not checked that out yet, I'll post the link for you. It has all foods that are free from all the troublemakers, but they're ready to go options that you can buy online, that are available online to use. You can store in your pantry or your freezers. There's lots of options here for people who are needing extra, easy ways to stay off of troublemaker foods. So I'm posting it. So I posted the Ultimate Clean Food Guide. Take a look at that. I've pinned it to the top, so you should be able to see the link to the guide. It's posted at the top. You can tap on that. It's totally free. It's over, I don't know, it's like a 50-something page guide. So I hope you'll look at it. It's got all the ingredients listed for all the foods that we recommend. So I think that that is important. Okay. All right. So coming to this question about neuropathy and cutting out all your other foods, hopefully you'll use the clean food guide to cut out, all troublemaker foods from your diet and get cleaner and cleaner. Start to bring in more healing foods, more fruits, more vegetables, leafy greens. That matters. Shingles protocol, you need core 7. I've already talked about it before. Go back and listen. I'll say it again as well. So it's core 7, B12, zinc, micro C lysine. So, I mean, here's B12. This is the brand I recommend by Vimergy. Liquid B12, zinc, liquid zinc. These are 2 cornerstones of any antiviral protocol. And then micro C, very important as well. If you're not doing this particular vitamin C, you'll not be getting as strong or as potent an immune support as you do with this particular one. So, and then lysine, which is antiviral, and then cat's claw, lemon balm, licorice root, which are all really important. Those form like the basis of the healing protocols for supplements. And then adding in things like for neuropathy, it's cal poppy and nettle and ALA and magglycinate and propolis and golden seal and mullein. All of those are really important to battle neuropathy. Sometimes people don't do enough of protocols. Sometimes they don't do all the supplements. They don't do enough of them. And so then they really struggle with that. Okay, next question is from, I'd love to know what you think about hormone replacement therapy. And this question was from Amy Lou. Amy Lou, go listen to my live from yesterday. I talk a lot about hormone therapy there. Is there a good way to get a more affordable way to get infrared light than sauna to the body or lymph? I have the Lumabox light, and my code is Muneeza Ahmed. So go buy a Lumabox light and use my code Muneeza Ahmed to get a discount. So Lumabox light can be really helpful. I actually have one under my desk. I use it in the winter more when it's dark, starts to get dark. I put it on and it helps me. It just helps me. I think it gives you the same kind of waves, similar. It can mimic like the sunset waves. So yeah, so those all make a difference, It also can be helpful for pain, so you can use it for that, but I don't think a small box light will make such a difference to the lymphatic system, although it can help you locally in some parts of what you're doing. Okay, our next question is from Brit Healing Journey. Can the advanced 369 make neurosymptoms worse if you're very viral? What will make the cleanse will not make your symptoms worse. I mean, I explained what happens with eczema. It's slightly different. But with all other symptoms, you don't necessarily get worse. You will feel relief. But if you don't feel relief, it's because you're having a flare. And the flare can happen for various reasons. So it's important to go gently rather than rushing into things. The body likes gentle change. We're all used to like going, holding the bull by the horns and diving head in, like, well, both feet in. Like we have these metaphors in our language that talk about doing something so like intentionally and very drastically, and the body likes gentle changes. So if you're going to do cleansing, which I highly recommend that you do, start slow. And no, it shouldn't make your neurosymptoms worse. How do you heal PTSD from having a panic attack while driving turned into fear of the highway? I'm really sorry to hear that. I talk a lot about this in my Adrenal Reset program. If you've not checked it out, click on the QR code. I will be talking about PTSD in the program as well. I will go into it in a lot more depth. It's a really important thing to be aware of, because without knowing how to heal PTSD, we can get stuck in these old loops. So PTSD sometimes has a component of OCD in it, and OCD is caused by PTSD, right? So PTSD itself is caused by not having enough glucose in the brain. Literally, you cannot have PTSD if there's enough glucose in the brain. When I read that in the medical medium books, I was so shocked. I'm like, oh, you can actually, not everybody, it's not automatic that you get PTSD. PTSD only happens when there is enough glucose in the brain. And one of the ways to heal PTSD is to actually replete your brain with a lot more glucose. Very important point. And so that's a really, really, really critical point. And keep bringing yourself into different experiences. That helps to heal PTSD. Creative work helps to heal PTSD. Learning a new skill, like using your hands, learning an instrument, playing the piano, knitting, painting, crafting, all helps to heal PTSD. So try something like that that can help and make a difference. Next question is from Tracy. She says, can you talk about neuropathy? Well, I just did. Can even those of us who got this from chemo still overcome using shingles protocol? Yes, because chemo will trigger it, right? You also need a lot more detoxification and cleansing when it comes to chemo. What is the best time to take supplements like lemon balm, licorice root, cat's claw? Can I combine them and take them together? You absolutely can combine them. You can take them together. You can have them at any time in the day. The time of the day that's best for you to take it in is when you'll actually do it. That's the best time. Just not before celery juice. I love your salt lamp. What are the benefits? I like a salt lamp. I like the soothing light. People say that when you put the light in and it glows, ions from the salt sort of travel out. Maybe there's truth to that. I've sat in salt caves. I definitely feel a difference in the energy in a salt cave. So I know that they can impact it a little bit, but mostly I like the soft, soothing light. That's just me. I've been doing the morning cleanse for 2 years now, and I've never experienced bloating my whole life, but after the cleanse, I have bloating. Is that normal? Nothing with a symptom is normal. It's common. It happens a lot. But yes. So how can I heal this post-detoxing bloating? It's not post-detoxing bloating. The fact that you're bloating means that your hydrochloric acid in your stomach is weak. It's weak hydrochloric acid in your stomach, which means that also could mean that your liver is a bit sluggish and that your bile is weak. That's why you bloat. Also, there's another reason, which is less common, but sometimes when you have a lot of dump of poison into the gut, you can bloat a little bit, but it's temporary, right? It will clear as the poison clears. But yeah. But even then, even if you have a dump of poisons, you will still bloat because you're weak in the digestive system. Is it possible to still have remains of gas in the stomach after surgery long ago? Yeah, gas can get trapped on the walls of the gut for years. And then when we start cleansing, it starts to get released and come out and can be very sore and painful. Thank you, Christine. That's such a nice thing to say. So kind. I have very dry eyes and light sensitivity. Can't work on a computer for more than an hour. I take regular breaks. So if you have that going on, you have sensitive nerves, lots of lemon balm, cal poppy, mac glycinate, curcumin, propolis, all of those are helpful. nerve shifter shots would be helpful for you. Coming back to our posted questions, which you guys like post so many questions, y'all. You spoke about dark circles under the eyes, but what about bags? It's backed up lymph. Yes. Severe constipation after shingles rash on my face doing 32 ounces of CJ. Bring in aloe, melons, and cherry juice. That helps constipation and hydration in general. You've got to up your hydration. While I heal, how do I stop insane itching, no rash? Any products to calm? Can't handle it in public. Barefoot Acres Herbs Healing Salve. What is this issue with my scalp? I don't know. You didn't describe it. Pre and post elective surgery tips. Cecilia, I have a pre and post elective surgery blog. If you have not seen it, I would go there and go to the blog and look it up. I'm going to post it into the chat box. And hopefully when you watch the live in YouTube, it should show up there. Check it out. And for those of you who do not know about my blog, I have so many, many, many topics that we have written about in the blog. I hope you'll go check it out. Okay. Next question is from, for how long can one take Eyebright? What's the maximum dosage? I will never give you maximum dosages here because it's a very dangerous thing to do. You should cycle on and off of it 2 weeks on, 3 weeks on, and then give it a week off. My rectum bleeds when I poop after I have lemon water all day. I think I have colitis. Have you had it checked? You could be having a hemorrhoid bleeding. So you just want to make sure you're checking it and making sure you've got the right diagnosis, because treating a hemorrhoid is different than treating colitis, right? What to take for any sicknesses in pregnancy? Well, it matters what sickness it is, but if you can bring in a little bit of zinc, a little bit of sort of B12. You can bring in a little bit of micro C. My blog, I have a blog that talks about the supplements that you can take when you're pregnant. And that blog answers your questions pretty clearly. So I'm going to take that link and post it into the chat box. Hopefully you can grab it from there when you watch the live back, or if you're listening, you can grab it now. How can you heal macular degeneration? This is caused by Epstein-Barr and toxic heavy metals. So you have to address those particular conditions to get better with that. Are chestnuts fat-free? I can eat them if I'm doing no fats. Yes, 100%. You can eat chestnuts if you're not doing any fat. Okay, and then and if you don't have Suki Dexter, if you don't have the Cleanse to Heal book, I would get it, because he says that in the book in Cleanse to Heal, the true cause of macular degeneration is toxic heavy metals, mercury, aluminum, and one of the 60 varieties of Epstein-Barr. So you really need to address those things, and there's a whole protocol in there. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. So morning cleanse is a part of the protocol, and then there's celery force, 5-MTHF, B complex, CoQ10. CoQ10 is important, EPA, DHA, nettle leaf, all of those things. So those are important protocols to consider for this condition. How can I use vitamin C powder on the Advanced 369? You just put it in shock therapy, like orange juice and a little honey, and you can have it that way. Or you can put it into whatever other smoothie or drink you're having. Seborrheic keratosis. It's a very toxic liver, seborrheic keratosis. So you have to do 369 cleanses over and over and over to help release that. The real evagram says nails are worsening. Extremely brittle, rigid, core 7 for years. What else can I take? Extra silica, aloe, cucumber juice, watermelon juice, or melon juices in general. MSM, those kinds of things are critical. Okay. What helps best to get out of mind control? Oh, your free will is probably the most important thing. And connecting with your soul. What's your biggest health learning, if you don't mind sharing? Oh my gosh, that's a loaded question. The biggest? I think the biggest, I can do like a top 3. Number 1, the role of pathogens in chronic illness. Number 2, how important maintaining blood sugar is to good health. And I teach about this in Adrenal Reset. So if this is one thing that I learned from Anthony, one of the most important things for health is adrenals and blood sugar. And not enough people know about the importance of it. And number 3 is the role of toxic heavy metals in the problems that we have. So, is it critical to eliminate avocado, nuts, seeds, and oats? Can I still cleanse without? You mean without removing them? You can still cleanse? As long as fats are in your diet, fats stop cleansing. So you want to cleanse, you got to reduce fats. If fats are high, you won't be cleansing. Ferritin is 29. Is this low? I have no idea whether you're in the US or some other country, so I don't know what your measure is for ferritin. Your test result should tell you the range that it's in, whether it's high or low. So I don't know where that information is coming from. Mary Cardero says, between rounds of B12 shock therapy, what's the maximum B12 dose I can take in a day? I don't give maximums. It's very dangerous for me to do that. Okay. I have a question on brain fog. It doesn't get better no matter what I do. You have to do higher doses of your supplements to push down the viral load that will stop the neurotoxin production that causes your brain fog, right? If you're not following those steps, then you're not going to get the majority of the healing. It's really needing to stop the production of neurotoxins, and how you do that is by working with bringing down the viral load. So I have about 25 more questions that were submitted. And then I have a bunch here on the online forum, so I'll start with those now. Is it okay to use, hold on, lost my place. My daughter has been doing MM for 9 months now to help her with her absent epilepsy, celery juice, HMDS, Vimergy, low fat, no foods. Still no results. When will we see them? Are you doing any supplements? You might need supplements to support that, because definitely have some viral pieces going on there. Is it okay to use a store-bought orange juice for micro-C-shot therapy? Sure. If you have nothing else available, you could, I suppose. But try to get something that's fresh and not pasteurized. For eczema-prone skin, any brand of daily facial moisturizer and body moisturizer you would recommend. So I've recommended the Barefoot Acres Herbs Healing Salve. That's really great. and Living Libations makes Hura hand cream, which I love, and their all over body lotion is also really great. And if you really want support for eczema prone skin, their best skin ever, sea buckthorn, is really helpful. So D-Man 714 says, have you ever had your teeth cleaned? I've been on MM for a year and my teeth turned brown and gray. I assumed from HMDS. Well, it's not from HMDS necessarily. The reason that your teeth turn brown and gray is because there's a weakening of your enamel, which is, by the way, teeth problems are time capsule problems, meaning they happened started years and decades ago. So today, when you're doing MM and you start to have staining show up on your teeth, that means that there's weakening of the enamel, like you're losing enamel, so it becomes easier to stain. It's not happening from the tools that you're using. My 3.5-year-old's hair has barely grown since birth. She did have a lot of x-rays when she broke her leg, and when she was 1.5. What can I do to help her hair? I would give her a little ashwagandha, and I would do peas. Give her peas, as many as you can. Give her some aloe, nettle, and rub a little bit of rosemary oil, essential oil, and some coconut oil or some jojoba into her scalp every day or a few times a week. Okay, next question. I'm from Ranglin Kaur, and Ranglin says, I'm on an MM diet for 2 years, but I don't know what's gone wrong. My muscles are weak and I currently cannot walk and body keeps cleansing. I'm confused about what's happening. Are you taking care of your adrenals? If you don't know how to do that, you've got to be having your adrenal healing snacks every 90 minutes. Sometimes some people need it every 60 minutes, right? It's very important. If you don't know enough about adrenals, please join the Adrenal Reset program. I will be sharing a very key component to help you keep healing. It's the number one pitfall that people have, the number one reason people go backwards, number one reason why people get stuck. It's the number one reason why people miss what they're doing wrong. And so this program is there for you to help support you and help you understand how to protect your adrenals, like Anthony says, to protect gold at Fort Knox, right? It's so critical. So I would say we need to look at that. We need to analyze the problem and say, let's put on our detective hats, right, Ranglin, and say, what could be going on here? Why is this an issue? If your symptoms have gotten worse, it means the viral load is getting higher or stronger. What is driving that? That's what you need to find. And often when people get worse, they miss the part about adrenaline because adrenaline will feed herpetic viruses, right? So we have to learn to control it. We have to learn to bring in the right foods, the right supplements that will prevent our adrenaline from hurting our body. So that's really, really important. What's your opinion on facial hair removal with laser devices? There are so many home devices available now with red light frequency. I'm not a fan of laser devices for removing hair. I think that they cause damage to the hair follicles, and that's why it stops the hair from growing. But I'm not a fan of damaging any part of your body. So I'm a fan, like when we do hair removal, I use wax strips. It's just like you just pull the hair out. So I know that some people don't like that and people want easier ways, but really that is probably a better way to do it, right? Okay, our next question is from, can I have pomegranates on the 369 cleanse? Technically, no. I've done the root cause of keratosis, seborrheic keratosis in the scalp. I talked about that a little while ago. So I have severe endometriosis pain. No painkiller helps me. They sedate me. Any tips? Desi. So if you're dealing with that much pain, have you talked with your doctor? What protocols are you doing? We talked about endometriosis a little bit earlier. I went through some of the protocols for endometriosis. If you have it really severe, then it may be worth doing some surgery to get it removed so that you can keep using the protocols and keep healing, because it sounds like it's kind of holding you back a little bit. When you can, sometimes surgery can be important because you can address something that's really big and it's taking up a lot of bandwidth of your immune system. So if you get it removed, the immune system can focus on healing the deeper issue more quickly. Sometimes that's a good approach. Do you think you still you have to remember your trauma in order to heal it completely? No, your conscious brain doesn't have to remember the trauma because your subconscious remembers all of it, whether you can recall it or not. Does the heart wall that protects us come down after cleansing? What heart wall are you talking about? I found a gray hair in my 7-year-old. What's the cause? Adrenals. Like check out the adrenal reset program. I keep saying it. It's adrenals. It's a weakening in the adrenal glands. So you might need to bring in some licorice, some ashwagandha, things like that. Will tissue expansion caused by toxic lymph decrease when the liver is cleansed enough? Yes, it will. What cream do you use for sunbathing? You mean like sunscreen? I like the Living Libation sunscreen. How important is the extractor smoothie? Is it a must to have every day like the HMDS? No, I don't think it's as much of a must for like HMDS, but if you're healing and wanting to clear out deeper chemicals, then yes, do it for 30 days, take a break, bring it back. Can I put on sovereign silver into a neti pot for severe sinusitis and open my ears? They are blocked. You have to be careful with the neti pot. But if you have severe sinusitis, I would bring in the mold exposure shot and the turmeric garlic ginger shot and the pathogen exposure shot. And I would do those 3 shots every day, multiple times a day if you can. And it will help to open it up as long as you've cut out all the troublemaker foods. I actually work with a client who had that happen, and these are the only things that made a difference for her. Solmar Ceramica says, what happens with nail biting for decades? Usually it's a type of OCD. So I would use OCD protocols, including the obsessive thoughts shifter shot. It's from this book. On for over 8 years, and my eGFR is 60. I answered this question yesterday, so please go take a look. What medical medium book would you gift a doctor? Probably Cleanse to Heal. Yeah, Cleanse to Heal. How to heal your pancreas? It depends on what's wrong with it. Tell me what's going on with your pancreas. If EBV can eat iron and cause anemia, how do you heal it since it always has food? But you can get on top of that. You have to overwhelm EBV, and you can. It's very possible to do. Many people do it. Why doesn't recommend iron supplements when people utilizing protocols are still anemic? Because iron supplements feed Epstein-Barr. You don't want to do that. Does breastfeeding slow down healing speed? Nope. Data center being built near my house. How to protect myself? More water and air pollution. That happens to most of us when things are being built and changed. Put IQ air filters in your home. That's the most important thing. What causes sciatic pain? Shingles virus. Shingles virus attacking the nerves. Let's come back to our feed here. So I've been using supplements for joint pain, more like arthritis. Got a referral to physical therapy using castor oil on my joints too. I'm sorry you're struggling with that. Applying cal poppy shock therapy, nettle leaf, lemon balm shock therapy, B12 shock therapy, plus nettle leaf, plus magglycinate, plus high levels of curcumin would help with arthritic pain. Elizabeth says, I don't think it's live on YouTube. I think it is. There's many people here from YouTube watching. Huh. Yeah, many people. Lynn says, how do you support the heart? Many ways to support the heart. What are you specifically looking for? I have a whole, I have a blog on heart health. I have a class on heart health. Here's the link to, you didn't tell me what for. If you guys, like, the more general the question that you ask, the more general an answer I'm going to give you. I need you to ask more specific questions so that I can give you more specific answers. What exactly about the heart are you wanting to know? I have been seizure-free from a rare medical condition called a cavernoma in the brain after I believe I was over-medicated. I have been following the medical meeting protocols for the last 5 years, and it's had a tremendously positive impact. Do you have any recommendations for the cavernoma in the brain within the protocols? So, so a cavernoma is basically like a malformation, right? So I would support the brain in any way that I could. I'd bring in wild blueberry juice. I'd bring in more heavy metal detox smoothie, extractor smoothie, B12 shock therapy, celery force, curcumin, propolis, adapto B complex, 5-MTHF, EPA, DHA, all will help to support the sort of cavernoma and help the brain and to help it to dissolve it. And many times it can dissolve, you know, but it depends on, was it there because of radiation exposure? Because that's what can cause it. That's one of the things that can cause it. So it depends on how it got there, right? That matters too. Yeah, I mean, are you still having seizures? Let me know. So Rena says fibroids. Rena, are you referring to something else? I think you posted before. Are you asking about fibroids? Fibroids I answered yesterday in depth. The difference between the strep ones and the EBV ones. Go check that out. It's March 14th. Go listen to that one. Shivanji Rana says, I suffered with bad breath almost my whole life, wondering if it's caused by a liver issue. It's caused by ammonia permeability in the gut, meaning there's rotting food in the gut that bacteria are eating on, and it's rotting and it's producing ammonia gas, and that's what causes this issue. Okay. Okay, next question is, can we replace regular rice with wild black rice in our daily diet? No. No, rice is not a recommended food. Are the Gaia capsules with the rapeseed oil safe to take? If it actually has actual rapeseed in it, I wouldn't use it, but I would have to know more about this to stop recommending Gaia herbs. I don't know enough about what you're talking about. Meredith says, I cannot tap on this to share with my group. I'm not sure what's going on. Just post a link to the live or my YouTube channel, and you should be able to share that. How do you wash your organic herbs for a salad? Just lightly rinse, or is it okay not to rinse? Yeah, I lightly rinse and pat dry with a towel. Very simple. I've done back-to-back 369 cleanses for 2 years, but now I'm suffering from neuro and lung issues, low protein. This is what I mean, Ranglin. I mean, this is a complex issue, so I would need to talk with you to actually help you figure out what is going on, what has happened. But you could have had a really aggressive virus that you didn't know about in the beginning, which is actually part of what's causing this issue for you. So keep me posted. If you have more to say, like I can help you in a private consult, or you can join membership to get support, or join the Adrenal Reset program and you'll get support there too. So definitely, definitely do that. It's a bigger issue. So for me to help you kind of troubleshoot it and figure out what went wrong or what is going on, I need to talk to you and learn more in more depth, and I need more history. If you have a cough attack in the night, would you do some mullein? Yeah, some honey, mullein, and ginger stops the spasm. So some ginger juice or ginger, whatever ginger something can help stop it also. And onions. Onions are really great at stopping a cough attack. Do you know the Gaia Bronchial Wellness is off AW's directory, the syrup? I cannot track every time that changes. I mean, I follow it. I check it every kind of month or so. I check in there, but I don't always follow that. But thank you for letting me know. Diane Rivard, why do I get tired super fast? For example, when I'm driving, if I get tired, I cannot keep my eyes open. They just want to shut and I cannot control it. So I have to nap before I drive usually. I have ME/CFS. I used to have debilitating sensitivities to light and sound, and it's much better now that I'm moderate, but I feel like it's connecting to the eyes needing to shut. I'm guessing metals. I mean, are you dealing with narcolepsy, which has a lot of toxic heavy metals at play? So if you have not done the 30-day heavy metal detox cleanse, I would highly recommend that you do that. Any brand of shampoo and conditioner for scalp with seborrheic dermatitis and androgenic alopecia, I would 100% focus on I like Living Libations. They're really good. Or you can buy the Away cleansing shampoo. That's really good. Or you can get the Anne Marie Gianni shampoo. That's really good. Or the Calendula shampoo from Living Libations, which is a new one. That's actually really good for dermatitis. Happy Trails, Wagon Tails, you hear a flute? Yeah, that's my daughter practicing. Prashant, that is not a topic I discuss on social media. Can you please tell me why I have constantly dry bone, dry mouth, dry vagina, dry skin? Because your adrenals are completely whacked out. Dry vagina, dry skin is related to that, but also really sluggish liver. I cannot find information on regarding 5-MTHF supplements for speech therapy. We have been following the protocol and taking Vimergy for 5 years. Can you talk about 5-MTHF supplement for speech delay? It's not specifically for speech delay. It's for nerves and liver. So when you're chronically sick, both of those things are affected. So it's important to bring that in. Kathy says, what can I use to get better? I would start doing cleanses, Kathy. I would start doing some 369 cleanses that will start to help you turn the issue around. I have a problem with not wanting to eat or drink. I just can't face it. Is this a vagus nerve problem? No, this is a problem of needing healing in the brain. So brain shots would be the way to go. I had severe bloating before I started It's been gone for several years. I love that, Susie. How do I get rid of swelling in my hands? 369 cleanses, really important. Red clover tea, really important. What causes easy bruising? A really sluggish liver. How to heal when bile is weak and low hydrochloric acid is weak and weak digestive system? Mono eating cleanse has 5 types of options for what you can eat. You can either do the potato cleanse, the banana cleanse, the banana papaya cleanse, the pea cleanse, or the steamed peas cleanse, or the squashes. And with all you do is you have lemon water in the morning, celery juice, and then you choose one of the 5 options with butter leaf lettuce to eat through the day, and you have a lemon water at night, and that's all you do to rest and heal the digestive system. Somebody said that they're already doing this and asked in a live, and he said it's fine, but I can't find that live during Alive said it's fine. What are you referring to? Elizabeth, tell me, I mean, because you're commenting while I'm speaking and I'm not following the chat exactly when you're saying, so I'm sort of having a disconnect with you. Darcy Lee says, Muneeza, my Oura ring is picking up high stress levels even when I'm not stressed. Well, probably because you are stressed. You're just not aware of it. Stress in the body, physiologically, the Oura ring will pick up on, and it's actually quite revealing to know that your body's under stress. I'm signed up for the adrenal program. What can I do in the meantime? On around 28. Well, Darcy Lee, we start next week. So until I know more about what you're doing, I'm not going to be able to answer your questions. So come into the program, give me a history of what you have been doing, everything that's going on, exactly what the Oura ring is saying. Take the screenshots, post them into the forum, give me detail, and I'll help you. I promise I'll come in and help you. How important is the extractor smoothie? I just answered that question. Can you still cleanse with less than 15% of fat in the evening? You still cleanse all day? Yes, you can. You can cleanse all day for sure. Somebody said they're already doing extractor smoothie on the 369 and asked on a live, and he said it's fine. I would love to know where he said that, because I have not heard him say that. Yeah. In the adrenal program, is there a chance to get each of us customized adrenal protocols? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. You will get customized adrenal protocols. Come and join us. Isn't waving hard on the adrenals? I don't think you mean waving. You don't mean waving. Like, what do you mean? Or waxing? Or you mean waxing hard on the adrenals? Look, I mean, if it hurts you a lot and you're really sensitive pain-wise, then yes, don't do that. But some people aren't. And like when I waxed the first time, it was hard, but then after that, it just softened, and now I barely feel it. So it's not painful. That's what I mean. Can you add extractor smoothie to the advanced 369 cleanse? Somebody said, Anthony said that, but I have not heard it myself. So I don't want to comment on that. Lily Blue, I had the first herpes breakout, took 2 months to heal. I'm still taking tinctures and protocols, and I have extreme fatigue. Lily Blue, I'm so sorry to hear that, but if you have extreme fatigue, come join our adrenal reset program, because we're talking everything to do with fatigue in that program and how to overcome it. There's so much to know, right? But I can't give you the kind of answers that you all want over here. So come in and give me, in the program, you have teaching calls, where I'm teaching the material. You have live Q&A calls where I'll be answering your questions, and you have forum support. So you can come into the forum, give all the details of your history, and we'll support you in there. And with extreme fatigue, there's so much more to find out about what you have going on. But if you're not eating every 90 minutes, start there. Luke Rogers, what are good brain shots for a relationship breakup? It's literally called the relationship breakup stabilizer shot. That's the one. What's wrong with a neti pot? Some people can have the water go the wrong way. They can enter like a really uncomfortable position. You have to just be careful with it. Some people are fine doing the neti pot, and if you're fine doing it, that's fine. But some people are very sensitive, so you have to be careful. Especially if you have like a lot of swelling in the sinus cavities, it doesn't go where it's supposed to go, and that can be uncomfortable. Susie says, tell your daughter I'm so proud of her for practicing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, she's doing a great job. What is the best cleanse to cleanse the arteries after a heart attack? 369 cleanse. It's not possible to write more, just a short sentence in the question chat. I tried to write more, but it wasn't possible. So Monica, what people do is they'll do part 1 and put in something, then they'll do a part 2 and put in something more, and part 3 and put it. Literally, I will get like 5-6 parts from people to put in their whole question. Just a trick if you want to do that. I'm doing and my tinnitus just got worse when I go get a bad migraine. What can I do for tinnitus, and how long does it take to heal? It's been 9 years. Tinnitus can take time, unfortunately. It's one of those things that can take a while. So There's a tinnitus protocol in the Cleanse to Heal book, which includes things like Eyebright, Lomatium, Mullen, Monolaurin. Sometimes people miss those things. Go back to that book and bring in those protocols. I don't know if you've been doing those, but those will be important as well. And you want to use higher dosages of supplements. Do you wash fruits and vegetables? Yes, I do, with 7th generation free and clear dish soap. Yes, I do. For some reason I can't, and I use a fruit spray wash. Okay. I mean, if that works for you, that's fine. It's just not my preference because it's hard for me to get that wash off. I have only one kidney. Should I be careful about cleansing too much? I would be careful about fatting yourself too much with one kidney. You want to protect that kidney, keep the fats out, animal protein completely out of your diet, and protect your kidney with lots of leafy greens. And I mean, people say, well, that's too much cleansing, but actually it's going to protect your kidneys. I didn't realize you could all hear her in the background. That's really funny. There's so many comments. How do you get a private consult? I'm dropping you the link. Lil Blue, you can email scheduling at muneezaahmed.com, and my assistant will get back to you next week. Scheduling at muneezaahmed.com. So many questions. Okay, my daughter and I are having congestion. Phlegm is brown in the morning and yellow the rest of the day. Please suggest relief and how to prevent from catching cold and flus constantly. Okay, so for that, I would use Golden Seal nasal spray. You can make it on your own. Silver nasal spray. I would bring in lots of onions, lots of green juice. Do the cabbage, apple, fennel juice daily. That's a really good one to draw out phlegm and heal the lungs. And I would bring in orange juice with vitamin C, like C shock therapy, zinc shock therapy, golden seal shock therapy, and propolis shock therapy. I would do lots of thyme tea, turmeric, ginger, garlic shots, pathogen exposure shots, total immune blend. Lots of those shots will improve this condition and will also prevent you from getting sick if you do the shock therapies about once a month for a week. Medical Medium pulled all Gaia products off Amazon. Well, then now we know. Don't have it, right? Probably because of the rapeseed in it. So I will look in this and get back to all of you about that. Shelly Rodriguez, what herbs can my husband take for hand pain? Fingers locked, can't make a complete fist, sore to touch under the fingers on palm. So what herbs can my husband take for pain? Nettle leaf, curcumin, cal poppy, magnesium glycinate. Those are all, lemon balm, those are all really helpful for pain and if he's sore. Can I take lots of Vimergy supplements while on a mono eating cleanse? And what about skin potion? Yeah, you can take some supplements on a mono eating cleanse if you really need them. Skin potion, if you absolutely need it, I would do it, but not if you can avoid it. I mean, you want to get the full benefit of a mono cleanse, and I don't know why you're doing a mono cleanse. If you're doing it because your gut's really off, then I would stick to it as closely as possible. So Samantha, they use canola oil. This is a new change. This is not what they were doing in the beginning. So something has shifted in Gaia's formulations, which is why they're now adding in rapeseed oil, which was never there before. And yeah, so that's really the issue, right? How to get rid of bad breath and what protocols. You get rid of bad breath, like I mentioned before, mono eating cleanse, aloe shock therapy, parsley and cilantro shots. IV21987 says, Muneeza's IHC group is fantastic. This is our membership group that we're talking about. Thank you for that comment. So much support in live calls monthly, plus a library of information with the website. Highly recommend. Thank you so much for saying that. That's awesome. Yeah, that's our membership community where you can get support as well. Why does 5-MTHF make me so sensitive? Is it a sluggish liver? It is very likely a sluggish liver. Ranglin, I have texted you the link to sign up for a private appointment. I'm doing more brain shots just recently. Thank you so much for this information. Burnout, trauma, adrenal fight or flight, and more. You're welcome, Claudia. Is using the Navage sinus rinse okay with Golden Seal? Yeah, that should be fine. What can I take before a flight to avoid motion sickness besides ginger? I would do a whole bunch of your protocols. Like I would do a lot of the core 7 before you travel because that will calm down the vagus nerve, and especially lots and lots and lots of lemon balm and magnesium and cow poppy. Did somebody ever hear eye floaters with MM? So many people. So many people. Do we need to eat everything organic? Your favorite grocery store? I heard Whole Foods organic isn't reliable. Whole Foods has never been reliable. I had a fight with Whole Foods when I lived in Connecticut. Their employee told me that they have no GMOs in the store, and I'm a trained GMO expert. I train with Jeffrey Smith, and I went into their store and pointed out all the places where they had GMOs in their products. And I wrote them letters, and I wrote them again and again and again. And they said, we have no GMOs in our hot bar, where they serve their food. I'm like, you're using canola oil. They're like, oh, it's non-GMO canola oil. I'm like, define non-GMO canola oil. I said, that's a conundrum. That's like an oxymoron because canola stands for Canadian oil low acid. And by definition, the seed is GMO. So how are you making non-GMO canola? It only exists because of genetic modification. And they're like, they just stopped answering me. And I used to get very mad and I stopped going there. So I go to Whole Foods like when I'm in a pinch and I can't get anything anywhere else. Like, for example, I love the Cosmic Crisp red apples and they always have such a nice selection of those. So I'll go get those. Or I'll get their like bagged coleslaw, which is really helpful for healing lung conditions. And it was taking too long to make them. So I buy it already shredded. But that's it. I don't buy anything else at Whole Foods. Like I'll go for just those very specific things when I need them. But my general shopping, I do not go to Whole Foods. I go to other places, which are more reliable. They really are. How do you make the Golden Seal nasal spray? On my website, it shows you how to make that. So I'm sharing the link in a moment. I have so many blog posts that talk about all these things that you guys ask me for. If you guys work on my blog, go check it out. It's all free information. There's so much information there. Seven Forest says, the flute in the background reminds me of Pride and Prejudice 1995. This is an outrageously wonderful musical healing concert. I think you are a wonderful mom. Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. I had no idea you guys would be so touched by listening to the music in the background. I mean, I'm lucky because I get to hear all my kids play. They all play piano, but they also play flute and then violin and cello. So I guess I'm lucky, and then I get to listen to their rehearsals every day. Can I eat instant mashed potatoes for the mono cleanse? Oh, no, not at all. That will not bring you the healing benefits. You need to have fresh steamed potatoes for it. You can mash them later on, but not instant. I've had eye floaters since a child. Amazing that you can get rid of it. What do you take to get rid of eye floaters? A lot of cleansing of the liver. And check out the Cleanse to Heal book. It has the eye floaters protocol. Hope Light Heal says, Muneeza, I live in Connecticut. Are they still doing this? Wait, doing what? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Tell me what you were asking about. Are they still doing this? Oh, you mean Whole Foods? Yeah, they still say they have. And in fact, they had to make a statement that they stopped saying that they don't carry GMOs. They had to stop saying that because we proved over and over and over and over again to them that they indeed have GMOs in their store. So yeah. Can you use Sovereign Silver for your sinus rinse? Yes, you can use a little bit of that. I have to take Dramamine for motion sickness. Should I take the pharmaceutical exposure shot after? Yes, you can do that too. All right, let me come to the finished questions, or the questions that that are remaining to be answered. So please help healing from constant mold exposure for someone with seizures. So please help healing from constant mold exposure for someone with seizures. Then I would put an IQ air filter if they're constantly exposed in their room, in the house. And I would, if you can, get mold remediation work done, because that will make a big difference. Tips for blurry vision. Done advanced HMDS cleanse and do morning cleanse regularly. Well, have you been to a doctor? Have you asked them? Have you been to an ophthalmologist? Do they tell you why you have blurry vision? Is it because you have bad eyesight? Or is it because the fluid in the eye is blurry? Or they have to be able to give you a reason, right, Meg? So definitely bring that in. Like, go check it out and get an actual diagnosis as to why you have blurry vision. But cleansing is your best bet. But also, if you have a virus there or neurotoxic dump happening, you need to up your supplement protocols for this. And that would be all the general ones. Like, it would be the core 7 and the ones that I normally talk about. So can I add a garlic clove to the mono cleanse? Technically, no. What causes fingers to lock and become painful in the hands? Epstein-Barr. EBV, yes. I've been doing the morning cleanse for 5 years now. Low-fat diet with supplements. Have healed many conditions over the years, but now I'm having protruding veins in my legs. My cholesterol is slightly elevated. Other than going fat-free, what protocols should I be doing? I would take in CoQ10, hawthorn berry, oil of oregano, pomegranate juice, vitamin C, and not just fat-free. I would actually do a 369 cleanse, Geneva. Elizabeth says, why are my hands swelling? Your hands will swell. If you haven't listened to the Medical Medium podcast episode on swelling, listen to it, because it will really make a difference. Your hands swell because your liver is really backed up and sluggish. So New Moon Sun says, do we need to eat everything organic all the time? I don't. I used to, but I don't anymore based on Medical Medium. And I wash my fruits and vegetables. Like, for example, if my fruit has thick skin, like mango, papaya, watermelons, those are often fruits, the tropical fruits, pineapples, I will buy them non-organic. Everything else, I try to do my best to buy only organic. Swelling overall, Elizabeth, is also caused by a sluggish liver that's gone out of control, cannot handle the waste anymore, and throws it over to the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system swells because the only way it knows how to deal with waste is to dilute, and it will retain water to dilute the poisons. So when you want to talk about swelling is really happening because the liver has become too sluggish. Joanne Gimbel says, I met you at for AW's first live event in Florida years ago. I walked past you on the beach while the seagulls were all around you and your friend. That was a crazy experience for me because the seagulls would not go away. They hung around. They literally were surrounding above my head, and all around us were seagulls. And I literally couldn't understand why they wouldn't leave us alone. And when we got up and we walked, the seagulls followed us. Joanne, that's so funny that you remember that. The seagulls followed us all the way to the inside of the hotel and didn't leave us. Like, when I entered the door of the hotel is when they weren't obviously with me anymore. But like, that was a crazy experience because there were like almost 100 of them. And they wouldn't let me eat. So I had to actually relocate to go eat inside. Turns out they loved the light because it was after the light blast and they loved all that light blast. And so that's why we were surrounded by them. It was just the most incredible, I think, kind of spiritual experience. But it's so cool that you remember that. I'm like shocked that you remember that. You guys, we've answered everyone's questions. Check out the Adrenal Reset program. I'm running it live after 6 years. It's such a popular program. People have bought it and keep asking about it. And we felt it was time to bring it back. So I hope you guys will check it out. It's an excellent program to help support your adrenals and learn how to remain even keel. Like the processes and tools that we're teaching will help you get there. So sending lots of love to everybody. Take care, and I'll talk to you all soon. I'll be going live next week as well, so come find me. We'll just be doing a lot more lives. I love, love, love answering all of your questions, and I look forward to continuing to connect and support you all. All right, thank you, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. And yes, New Moon Sun says so much for doing. Thank you for doing the live. The questions from others are so helpful. They really are. You learn so much from what others ask as well. I look forward to seeing you in Adrenal Reset. All right, everyone.